What if everything you've ever known collapsed in a single heartbeat? She's just an 18-year-old Nigerian schoolgirl, carrying a secret so explosive it could destroy her life. Every dawn, she scrubs dishes and hides her growing belly from merciless classmates. Then a shadowy tycoon offers her a fortune for her unborn child. She refuses. Now the whole town is watching. Will her silent strength be her salvation or her downfall? Before we start this story, I would like to thank you for coming to this channel. Subscribe to it. Hit the bell button for more videos like this one. Hope it will be great. Thank you. Let's continue. The sky was still dark when Amaka tiptoed out of her small room. Her heart thumped inside her chest as she smoothed the loose shirt over her gentle bump. At school, the hallways felt cold and empty. She slipped into her seat and tried to disappear among the desks. Some children pointed and whispered, but Amaka kept her eyes on her hands folded neatly in her lap. She took a slow breath and reminded herself, "I am brave." Quietly, she promised her baby she would protect them no matter what, and that promise filled her with a small spark of courage. The next morning, bright lights flickered on in the school corridor. Amaka clutched her books close as she walked. A group of girls blocked her path, giggling and calling her names. One girl shoved her hard, and Amaka stumbled. Her books scattered across the floor. Tears welled in her eyes, but she hurried to gather the pages before anyone else could see. She straightened and walked on, her face calm, even though her heart felt heavy. Inside, she whispered to her baby, "I am sorry, but I won't let them hurt you." That quiet promise made her shoulders straighten. When Amaka returned home, only the empty house greeted her. Her mother's clothes were gone, and the small room smelled like dust and loneliness. Amaka set her books on a bare table and rubbed her aching back. She placed a gentle hand on her bump and whispered, "I wonder where Mama is." In the silence, she sang a soft lullaby to her unborn child. Even though she felt scared and alone, Amaka believed in hope. She counted on the days ahead, dreaming of someone kind who might help her, and she held tightly to the lullaby that sounded like a promise of comfort. Before sunrise, Amaka stepped onto the dusty path to Mama Titi's restaurant. The kitchen buzzed with chopping and sizzling sounds. She washed plates until her hands pruned and chopped onions until tears streamed down her cheeks. Mama Titi hummed a gentle tune as she cooked stew, and Amaka felt a little warmth in her heart. "You work very hard, child," Mama Titi said, placing a bowl of warm rice on the table. Amaka bowed her head and whispered, "Thank you." She ate quietly, her hunger and her worries easing for a moment under the kindness of a stranger's welcome. One stormy night, rain tapped on the restaurant roof like tiny drums. Mama Titi noticed Amaka shivering by the door. She laid a thick blanket on a clean bench in the back room. "Rest here tonight," she said softly, offering Amaka a warm cup of tea. Amaka's eyes widened in surprise. She sank into the bench, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders. The tea smelled of ginger and honey, and Amaka sipped it slowly. She felt safe for the first time in weeks. Her shoulders relaxed, and she whispered to her baby, "We are safe here." Sleep came quietly, carrying her into peaceful dreams. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the kitchen window. Amaka woke feeling stronger. At school, the teasing started again, but she remembered Mama Titi's kindness and straightened her back. When a boy tried to trip her in the hallway, she planted her feet firmly and did not cry out. A teacher saw and told the boy to leave her alone. Amaka felt a small surge of pride. She walked into her classroom calmly and took her seat. Inside, she smiled at her reflection in the window and thought, "I can stand tall." Her baby kicked, as if to say, "You are wonderful, Mama." Late one afternoon, a tall man in a shiny suit stepped into the restaurant. He watched Amaka quietly as she wiped tables. After everyone left, he approached her. "You deserve better," he said, pulling out a thick envelope of money. "Take this and give me your baby." Amaka's heart pounded like a drum. She looked at the money and then at her bump. Shaking, she folded the envelope and handed it back. "No," she said softly but firmly. The man's face darkened, and he stormed out. Amaka touched her bump and whispered, "Our life is ours to keep." News of the rich man's offer and Amaka's refusal spread quickly through the small town. People began to talk in hushed tones at the market and in church. Some neighbors left baskets of food at Mama Titi's door with notes saying, "Stay strong." Others patted Amaka on the back when she delivered plates of stew. She felt warm inside, like sunlight in her chest. Strangers called her "brave girl" and offered her smiles instead of stares. At night, her heart glowed with gratitude. She whispered to her baby, "See how many people love you already?" One bright morning, an official letter arrived from the city government. Amaka's hands shook as she opened it. Inside was an invitation to the town hall and a check large enough to change her life. On the day of the visit, she dressed in her best dress and walked with Mama Titi by her side. A crowd clapped as officials handed Amaka the large check. Reporters snapped pictures and called her a symbol of hope. Amaka smiled shyly, the check heavy in her hands. She thought of her baby and whispered, "We will use this to build our future." With the government gift, Amaka rented a small room near the market and set aside money for her baby's needs. Every evening, she sat under the old mango tree in her yard and watched golden light dance on the leaves. She imagined her baby's laughter and first steps, feeling joy bubble in her chest. Birds sang above her, and the breeze carried memories of Mama Titi's kitchen. Amaka closed her eyes, feeling content. In the quiet, she spoke to her child. "We have a safe home now, and we will share kindness with others." One peaceful evening, a quiet knock came at Amaka's new door. She opened it to find her mother standing under a dim lantern, eyes wet with tears. "I'm sorry," her mother whispered, voice breaking. Amaka's heart twisted. She had dreamed of this moment but feared it might never come. With a gentle breath, she stepped forward and hugged her mother. Both cried softly under the soft light. "I forgive you," Amaka said. Together they sat on the small porch, sharing stories and healing old wounds, while the moon rose to watch over their reunion. With her mother's help, Amaka began meeting other young mothers in the community hall. She turned on a bright lamp and arranged simple chairs in a circle. One by one, mothers brought babies wrapped in colorful cloth. They shared food and stories of their struggles. Amaka listened and encouraged each one, telling them they were not alone. They cooked porridge together and sang lullabies under warm lights. Smiles and gentle laughter spread through the room. Amaka felt proud to lead these gatherings. At the end, they held hands and promised to support each other. In their circle, hope grew like wildflowers. One busy market morning, Amaka carried a tray of tea to her cafe when she heard a friendly voice. "Amaka?" She turned and saw Chinedu, her friend from primary school. His face lit up in a shy smile. She felt her cheeks warm. He had heard about her courage and success. He asked if he could help in the cafe, and Amaka welcomed him. Together they served customers, laughing as they worked. Every time their hands brushed, Amaka felt a flutter in her heart. At day's end, Chinedu walked her home under the golden sunset, and she realized her heart was open to love again. Amaka and Chinedu worked side by side in the cafe they opened near the school. Mama Titi taught them recipes for jollof rice and akara. Amaka chopped tomatoes while Chinedu stirred the stew. Customers lined up for warm food and kind smiles. The cafe walls were painted bright yellow, and a small sign said, Hope Cafe. Amaka placed chairs under the mango tree outside for mothers and children. Every coin they earned went to save for the baby. When the school bell rang, pupils waved as they passed. Amaka beamed, knowing their cafe was more than food. It was a place of kindness. Under the old mango tree, Amaka and Chinedu sat side by side, hands entwined. Amaka gently felt her baby move and smiled at Chinedu. They promised to care for each other and their growing family. Around them, colorful lanterns swayed in the breeze, lighting the faces of happy neighbors gathered for a small feast. Her mother and Mama Titi joined the circle, clapping and singing. Amaka whispered to her baby, "We are surrounded by love." As fireflies lit the night, everyone danced and celebrated new beginnings. In that magical moment, Amaka knew hope and forgiveness had blossomed into something beautiful. Love this story? Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment in the section below where you have watched from.